This model kit review is of the Mustang, the Mk.4, and it's the P-51K. This is the version that was exported to the United Kingdom for the Royal Air Force, so you can see their insignia there. And those are our two options there. I personally like the first option, but those are the two options there. Here's some details here, dimensions, and details about the plane. Those are those two options there. That looks like this is actually Australian. It's the Australian Air Force. No other pictures there. Let's have a look inside and see what we have in the kits. Well, it looks like we have a lot of screws. So first of all, here we have our cockpit glass canopy. Here is the windshield, fairly well molded. Looks like we've got 3 canopies here, I guess depending on what version you're going to build. There's 1, there's 2, and here's number 3. Fairly well molded, a little loose, but otherwise nicely molded. Okay, so this first sprue here, we've got 2 sets of exhausts, depending on which version you're going to build. Here is our instrument panel with some nice detail, some parts here for the cockpit, for the seat. That's the radio for behind the cockpit there. We have our guns, very nicely molded. You can see there, that's the third gun there, which has been drilled out. That's very nice. Lots of detail, very nicely molded here. For the cockpit, here's the part of the cockpit seat. Here's our tail gear and main gear. We've got some bomb, this part of the tail here. Here are the bombs here. Here are our wheels. So we've got some nice options here, including the bulging tires here, as though it's sitting on the ground. You can see there it's got a bit of a bulge to it. Or the other option here, depending on which type of wheel or tire you want. Here's our spinner, and there's the tail wheel. Lots of little parts here for the fuselage, and probably that's probably for the cockpit as well. Some hose here for the cockpit, wheel well covers, just tremendous amount of detail. And look on the other side here, very nicely molded. Here is our wheel well. That's great. Good detail there. Also part of the wheel well. There's our pilot, and you've got his arms there. We've got our flaps here. You can either have them that's up or flaps down. We've got our stabilizer and elevator. And here's the part of the fuselage surrounding the wheel well. Tremendous detail, look at that. Here are the wheel well covers, if you can have them up, and our propeller. Just tremendous detail, well molded. We do have another propeller here, depending on which one you want. Here is our cockpit. And that's the tail wheel well there. Here we have some fuel tanks, a variety of different options there. These two will go together, or these two will go together. And this is our rudder, molded as one piece. Here are the was the fuselage, and that is just amazing. Great level of detail, recessed panel lines and rivet lines. Just amazing. Here is the detail for the wing. Again, tremendous detail. That is just great. Wow. And here's our elevator, also molded as one piece. Nothing on the inside because those are all molded separately. And then the last sprue here, look at this tremendous detail. We've got the inside of the cockpit here. Great detail there. Inside of the wheel well. Look at that. That's just phenomenal. Here's the lower part of the wing. Again, look at that. Just absolutely very well crafted. Here's part of our tail. Here's the other tail. I guess depending on what version you're going to use. And then this is the wheel well cover if you're going to have it open. So, wow, I'm really impressed by that. Here are our decals. And as you can see here, great level of detail. Lots of little decals here. It really just increases the realism. Here is our instructions here, and we've got some more details here about the plane as well as the dimensions. So we start off with building our cockpit. We've got lots and lots of parts there, and that really is very nicely detailed. Then looks like we're building our radiator, and that gets put into the underside of the fuselage part there. We've got to start to build our wheel wells for the tail wheel, and that's if you're going to have the wheels down or up. You're going to cut it and then glue it down. And here's our tail wheel going in. Here we've got our left side of the fuselage. Just tremendous detail. Absolutely phenomenal. There's the other side. Now we build our fuselage here with our tail. And the other side here. Wow. We put our cockpit in and wheel well into the fuselage. And put the fuselage together. There's no engine, but I guess you could put one in there if you wanted to and just leave that open, but that's an optional. And then we've got our wheel well going in. Don't forget to drill out your holes for fuel tanks for bombs. Top wings going on. Our guns going in. Here are our flaps. That's flaps up, that's flaps down. And then ailerons, also up or down. Then our wings go on. That really is phenomenal. And put on the front of the fuselage and front of the wheel well cover. Don't forget to put on your, don't glue this. This is going to be for your propeller. Your exhaust going on. And then air intakes there. And the exhaust or the exit for the radiator, up or down. And here's our stabilizer with elevator and rudder. This is if you're having your wheels up, and your wheel well covers for down, for up, and here the wheel well covers if you can have the aircraft down or the wheel well down. And this is just tremendous detail. You can see even the actuators that provided that. Normally I'd have to scratch build those. Just tremendous amount of detail. It's very well engineered and thought out. And then here are the bomb racks or fuel tank pylons. Those are really your two options there. And pitot tube. There's the propeller. And parts for the canopy. There's our pilots. Canopy open or close. Just an absolutely tremendous amount of detail. Here are the painting and decal guides. And those are specific just to this version. Here are the colours needed. Here's the Australian Air Force. And then these are the decals for both versions. And as you can see, we saw on the decal sheet, great level of detail. That really is absolutely phenomenal. So that is an amazing kit because we have great decals, recessed panel lines and rivet lines. We've got a specially molded wheel well and cockpit detail. I mean, this is a phenomenal kit.